Welcome to the pen tool guides. So this is going to go step by step defining how you use the pen tool correctly. Take your time on this. I'm going to show you the blue steps on each sheet. Please do all the steps, but you can follow along with me through this video with the ones with the blue. Using the pen tool can be difficult. So let's get started. Toolbar, click on the pen tool, options you have for the pen tool. You'll be using all of these. So we're going to work on this sheet. So let's make sure we also go to zoom, so we're going to do open path, close path shape, and then the 45-degree path, hold shift. All right, so we have our pen tool by doing P, and then we click on it. So it shows you exactly where the anchor is, and look how the pink highlight opens up once you're directly over that anchor. So we're anchor, and it's click, and you can see that you get to see the initial line starting. Click again, and then again. And once you're done, you can hit V, which will go back to your selection tool. Close path. Again, P. Start the anchor anywhere you want, really, but I like to start right here. Click, and then drag. A new segment will appear. A new line segment will appear. Click, drag, click, drag. And then you'll see it says intersect, but there's also a little circle that you want to watch out for. When you see the little circle by the pen, you know that you're actually closing the shape. This can be tricky because a lot of times you think you might have closed it, but you haven't. 45. So let's start at the top and click on the anchor, which our guides are kindly letting us know we are actually doing. And then you hit shift, and it will give you that straight 45 path. And then you can hit shift again, and it'll give you a straight line upwards. And see that circle's appeared again, and we click, and it says intersect. And there's our paths. So now we're going to start talking about curves. We're going to talk about a single curve, a continuous curve, and then the 45 curve. The thing I want to talk about is the handlebars. I want to show you how you make a handlebar. You need the handlebars to create a curve. When you're doing this, make sure that you do not have a fill on. You don't want the stroke to be anything more than a point. So this time, instead of click and moving on to another click, you're going to click and then drag upwards and follow that handlebar that's already existing. Don't worry about the handlebar below, just worry about the one on top. And now I'm going to click here and create also. Oh, be careful that the handlebar is going the right direction. So I'm going to flip it back upwards and make sure that it goes directly next to that one above. And again, V, and then once we start the next one, hit P. So this is tricky. Remember, click and drag up, and you'll connect to that handlebar in the illustration. Drag it over and then to the other anchor, and drag down. Make sure you're following that bar illustration. If you release it, you want to go to the other anchor and drag up, and make sure it's following that bar on the bottom. So those bars are illustrating exactly how to make this curve. Again, P, I'm going to click on the anchor, and then I'm going to drag, and if you hit shift, it'll keep it at a 45. We're going to match up the illustrated handlebars. And then next, we're going to go to the other anchor, and we're going to click. So you're going to immediately know you're going the wrong direction. So the first thing to do is correct it right away without unclicking, and then drag it up again. So remember, shift will make sure that it stays 45. Handlebars is a tool. It's not a part of the line form. Handlebars will change in size. They are not equal anymore, and we'll also learn how to break them apart. So let's get started. Anchor points, and we're going to drag out our handles. Let's get to that P for our pen tool, and let's click on the first anchor on the top, and we drag out. This one will be pretty much the easiest one. And then we'll come here and we'll click on it and we'll drag it up. So let's wait for the next step to come back to those, and then we'll drag it here, and we're going to just pull it out to the sides. We come up to this next anchor point and we're going to drag it out, and I would just line it up to that first one. Make sure it's going in the right direction. So I was turning it around. You can see that it wasn't working out correctly. And then back around to the top, and we're going to hit that 0, and I'm going to click and pull to make sure I continue that action of the handlebars going out equally. All right, now we need to do some editing. And the perfect tool to do this is the A for direct select. Over our anchor and click on it. Now we can see both of our handles, and I'm going to grab the handle on the bottom and make sure it lines up to our rules. I'm going to do the same thing for the one across, clicking and making sure that the handle also lines up to the illustration that's provided. So this bottom one's a little trickier. I can't move one without affecting the other. I can change the width, but I can't change how their direction goes. So the next thing I'm going to have to do is show you another tool. So go back up to our pen tool, and we're going to talk now about the anchor point tool, which is Shift-C. This tool will allow you to break the handlebar. So we lost the other handlebar. We're still going to need to go to A and make sure we can see it. And now that it's broken, that initial breakage, we can now move the other one up using the direct tool. And now you can see that we've been able to not only make the bars uneven with the direct tool, but using the tool over here to break them, to make them be able to be their own, we can use a direct select to make a sharp point. This one's going to get complicated. I'm going to go through a couple of these, but just remember, this is exactly what we just did up there, right? So this one might look a little complicated, but it really is all the same steps that we did here, here, and here. So if you can do these, you should be able to do this. Take your time, look at the bar. Where do these bars line up? And how do you get them to line up? So you're going to be using you're going to use the pen tool initially, and then you're going to use the direct tool to help move the bars when it needs to be uneven. And you're going to use the anchor point to break it if one needs to go to the opposite direction of the other. Remember the point? And I'm one of those people that likes to just get it set up. So a lot of these are going to look weird at first. I just go to all the anchor points and click on them first. But when you click on your anchor point, you need to drag. Remember, you're always clicking and dragging. Now you can do this right away, like resolve each of the handlebars immediately. I just always like to just get my initial drawing out there and then quickly adjust afterwards. I want to actually start with I'm going to use the Command plus to bring it closer. So what I'm going to do is I need to line these back up, right? So let's get that tool here and here. If you're missing a handle, just make sure you find it. So something's a little wonky here, right? So it needs to actually be turned this direction. So this part, we're going to break the handlebar. So we need to do that Shift-C. And this will allow it to break this handlebar. We're also going to do that here. So let's just grab it and break it now. And then we're going to go back to A. which is the direct. Make sure these hit the anchor, and make sure they're the right selection. You're selecting the handle and moving it over the illustration of the handle, right? I'm going to click back up here. This handlebar needs to go here. You can see how it's lining up very easily now that you follow the lines. So you can see this one is actually a little deceiving because you don't realize that you do need to break the bars. So you really need to be savvy with your shortcut. It'll be, at this point, very handy to know them. Remember Command plus minus. So again, why be so far away when you don't have to? This goes here, but look how this is not turning the right way. So you need to flip this. And then this is another break. So it's that Shift C. And I can grab that handle. And then Shift C. The anchor, I'm pulling the handle again. And then back to A, because I want to line this back to being a little bit better over that. And I'm going to pull this anchor out. And for here, I'm going to have to break the handlebars again. This one goes this direction, this one goes downwards. So again, Shift C. And then it disappears, so I'm going to hit A to just kind of get it up again. Alright, so we've lost our bars. You can lose your bars at any time, so you need the direct tool to bring them back. And a lot of this is a lot of noodling, making sure that like everything's lining up. Again, Shift C. This goes down here, and then we lost it, A, direct, so we get the other handlebar. Once it's broken, you don't need to do the anchor tool again. And this is getting hard to see, so again, don't go blind. Use your Command plus and minus to bring yourself really close. Bring back the A to kind of figure out what's going on with the handlebars. This will need to go actually right there. And then that Shift C to bring back the bar. So on, and so on throughout. So this is really making you go through all the steps of breaking it and making points and curves to go around the poodle. Just make sure that, see this? You gotta make sure that it's going the right direction. You can really spin out of control. So I need to flip this, right? Because it's going the wrong direction. I'm going to come back to here because we need to break these. That one's still good. I come down and I change this handlebar here. And then back to A because we lost the handlebar. And then back to the other tool, anchor tool, to break this one. And then this one is kind of spun wrong, right? So I'm going to need to go back to A and kind of see what's going on with the handlebars first before I need to break it. So this really needs to go outwards. So I did the space bar and that'll bring up the hand. but you can use H to do it too. So I'm just bringing it over a little bit, and then what I want to do is again go to the anchor tool and bring it all the way out. So making sure that these aren't all twisted up. So that was me actually moving the line segment and not getting the handle. And then this handle got really crazy long. Sometimes you gotta hunt them down. It's okay that it happens. You just gotta find them again and put them back to a practical level. And that's good there. This one got a little spun around. And then we need the break the handlebar. We could take this one and break this one, and then go back to A. Bring it back into the center of that circle. Bring the handlebar out. We're really close. And then this, we just need to maybe bring in a little. And voila. Poodle. And you could switch it on the side to make sure it's all filled in. Just need you to really try. Again, this is about practice. All right, please turn this in. I would make your line red. You can immediately see that you were able to trace all these forms out. File, save as. File, save as. Just so you can keep the file. Make sure you put it into that folder for project 1. We're still on project 1. And we save it just in case you want to go back and look at it. And then you do file, save as again, but this time we want to make sure that it is saved as a PDF. Once it's a PDF, it's no longer a workable file. Please make sure you put your name on this too. Literally all I do is keep the view after PDF. It just makes it easier. Remember, this is going to show up. You could click this to not show again. This is just reminding you you're taking out the possibility of editing in the future. Once it opens up, please make sure that you see all 4 pages before you upload this to me. And that'll be a wrap for the pen tool.